My first reaction when I got this task to build a church in Pongo was very surreal. I remember telling the Archbishop Emeritus Nicholas Chia then, "You sure you want me?" I don't have the experience, I don't know many people, I don't have the contacts. How am I going to do this? That was ironical. It is because I do not know what to do. I knew that was what God wanted me to do. I know very well, building God's church, you cannot use your own strength and resource. He needs us to totally depend on Him. And it was on that ground I said yes to Him. With a lot of nervousness and a lot of questions were necessary. The first thing to do was to name this church. For some reason, Church of the Transfiguration came to mind. At the Transfiguration, Jesus was told that the crucifixion would be imminent. If you ask me, that was when Jesus had the ultimate obedience to His Father. Why is it so important to listen? Not just to anyone, but to listen to Him. We sin. It's because we fail to listen to God. That was when I said, let's choose Church of the Transfiguration, because this is the message we are going to give to everyone, that we have to start listening to the right person from now onwards.
Actually, we started praying very much about it in the beginning, and we really asked ourselves, what do we as Catholics want our future church to be? It has to be something that the people really enjoy using it, and as a place of worship. Most importantly, what does God want us to do?
We encountered a lot of conflicts. We encountered the difficulty of raising the money, and certain things we needed were not approved. Certain things we didn't want were forced on us, and that became a big problem in terms of the costing.
The people who came to help Father since the start for the fundraising, they struggled a lot. They had a lot of people turning their backs.
My project manager, he also took a very big hit by people. He had a fair share of complaints, rejections. When he first started 4 years ago, he pushed aside his professional job just to do full-time looking into this project.
Sometimes you do feel like giving up because you get misunderstood. Everybody thinks that they're trying their best, but misunderstanding can happen. We just have to constantly remind ourselves, why are we doing this, and try to reconcile despite that difficulty.
There were many times I felt very numb. It was so numbing that I couldn't even cry. There was a period of time I even entered into nervous breakdown. I was into a state of depression. And they know that every time I get any rejection, they rally with me. They stay with me. So every time I feel rejected, I know I'm never alone. And we now understand that this has to happen for us to understand what this church is to be built on. At the height of our rejections, I will receive a letter from the Archbishop. He said that, "Don't worry, you have my full support, and I'm very confident in you." That has been my strength. And also seeing the results. People must realize that this church is built through a lot of sweat, a lot of pain, and therefore everyone should treasure it. Do I regret the difficulties I went through? Yes, I don't like to go through them. I don't like to go through that state of depression, but I know it's necessary. I say this without regret for every pain, every cross that we went through, because that helped to shape in the philosophy we build for this parish. It helps me to see what kind of priest I am going to be for the people I serve.
The beauty of the experience that I went through with the fundraising was the fact that a lot of the funds came from the average person, as well as non-Catholics, which was surprising and yet very touching.
We have many beautiful experiences in our parish visits. In one of the Mass, there are Indian migrants. After Mass, we saw them picking up our envelopes, each taking out $10 notes, dropping into the envelopes. And many of them did that. I was very moved.
Father Joachim, in his travel to the Holy Land, had obtained 3 pieces of rocks from Mount Tabor, and one of which actually is embedded in the basement that is directly in line with the main altar. In such a symbolic gesture, that connection, it relates this church physically to the actual site.
We wanted to create an effect where when we come to church, we are ascending up a mountain, climbing up a mountain like a pilgrimage and journeying towards God. It's not easy, it's against the slope, all in the hope that we want to become closer. We decided that we do not want to have a fence. We want to open up the space in front to create a garden. People living in the town, when they pass by the church, they may be able to enter the church. They may just wander up the staircase. In a way, we want people to come closer to God as much as possible. As long as they come and engage the church, there's always an opportunity for evangelization.
Another thing that you find very rich in this church is that we have 8 Marian shrines.
In creating all these prayer corners, it serves the community well because you can just go to the corner. I've seen people going to the prayer corners. I've seen people having their quiet time.
We build everything so that the people who comes through our baptism, comes through our formation, end up being God-fearing. Our parish mission is the gospel, which has to be interpreted by the Holy Father and further interpreted by the Archbishop for our local diocese. Archbishop's statement is our mission statement, and we are all called to carry out his mission.
The mission of church is to build communion, and that is what we are trying to do because that is part of our work. Building communion, building love is part of the gospel. As Catholics, we are responsible in fostering unity and social harmony and cohesion in the country. For the future of your children's children, keep the faith, share the faith, build up their faith.
You ask me what's the vision for this church? Nothing short of being God-fearing, that they can listen to God, have the passion to want what God wants in their life. We have to build a culture that is gospel, generous, open, and at the same time all-embracing. We realize that this has to be a compassionate church because we have been hurt and we know what it is to be hurt. We also want the church to learn how to reconcile because in this process of building the church, many people have let us down. The only way to respond is how Christ also responded to the people who hurt him. He was so gentle with them after the resurrection. All Jesus did was, "Come eat with me, peace be with you, hold my hands." We have to do likewise.
The hope is, of course, that this would be a place of growth, that we all grow to be more Christ-centric.
People are very cheerful. They greet you with a smile and they say hello. So I feel very at ease.
This church is our second home. So we try to mingle, to talk to the people, and we are family here.
The atmosphere is very good. The atmosphere and the priests here are very friendly.
I believe that with a strong community in church, able to be Christ-like to one another, then I suppose that it will extend further to our homes because likewise at home, when problems arise, we would be able to be Christ to the person next to us in the family.
As we start a new church, the most important thing would be people to come forward to join us in the worship. The second is to serve.
We have a lot of ministries, a lot of areas where we are really lacking in numbers and we would need people to come forward.
Like brother and sister working together, we got talk, we got laugh, and I learned something from them, not much, but they also learned something from me, not much. To be honest, I'm a Sunday Christian, I'm a first timer. Since I'm a retired and with a lot of experience, why not I offer?
Hongo is more or less come from a village, you see. So that's why we make ourselves as a kampong in the community. So we enjoy.
There is definitely room for new blood and definitely new ideas, greater ideas for this parish.
If you feel an urge or a nudge, and if the calling is there, come forward because you never know the richness you will find in being part of a church in the community here at the Church of Transfiguration.
I pray even like the priest who comes after me will also realize that as long as we listen to the Lord and have the courage to act obediently, then I'm sure this church will go the way it should go.